shame on Washington fans he didn't fool me because I've called it from the beginning. I've said it all along. For you idiots out there for thinking De'Ami Brown was going to do anything, you are idiots. You guys are so dumb.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the PM Football Podcast. We were right about some things from last week. We were also wrong about a couple things.
I would like to address the audience real quick. I may have jumped on the Panthers hype train a little too fast.
But we'll get into that a little later,
Yeah.
Okay? First, we're going to go up talking about week 2 of college football.
Yeah, for sure. It was a good week.
It was a pretty good week.
Yeah.
There weren't too many big games.
No,
there was some.
The first game I would like to talk about is Texas versus Michigan, the place you were at last year, Hook'em. What do you think about that game?
I mean, Quinn might be the Heisman front runner right now, in my opinion.
He's definitely in the top 3 for sure.
Who would you put above him right now?
I don't know about necessarily above just because he's a quarterback, but you have to look at Genty for sure.
Cam Ward, maybe?
Yeah, he's up there. That's what I'm saying, like top 3 for sure. It's hard to say that he's not the front runner.
Yeah, after going to Michigan, beating them pretty bad.
Very convincing win for sure.
And I mean, on the Michigan side of things, like their offense just looks stagnant. They don't have very many playmakers, and then their top playmaker, Donovan Edwards.
It's just not the same team from last year, which we kind of expected a little coming into the season, but just to see how drastic the fall off is, it kind of is concerning there for sure.
I mean, my big question for them is why isn't Orgy playing?
I don't know.
Why are we not starting the guy that everybody thought was going to be the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year? Why is he not the guy that's in there right now? Yeah,
I definitely get where you're coming from with that. I honestly don't have an answer for that.
I don't know if they just think he's like I have no. It's kind of like a Joe Milton situation with him because they had Joe Milton at the beginning and then he transferred to Tennessee.
Yeah,
like I could 100% see Orgy leaving after this year and having success.
Yeah, especially with in last year's class, Michigan signed, was it 1 or 2 5-stars? They're going to be hungry to get real playing time. Yeah. So why wouldn't you transfer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, especially in this day and age of college football where it's that easy, that accessible, you would have to be dumb to not think he is interested, at least looking into the portal.
Well, I mean, just based off of the fact that, like I said, he was the guy going into the season, and it's like all of a sudden he's not the guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense.
I agree.
But so next game we got Northern Iowa and Notre Dame. Huge shocking win for Northern. Did I say Iowa? It's Northern Illinois.
We're all good. We're all good.
Sorry, Northern Illinois. You deserve the respect for going into Notre Dame and beating them like you
did.
But
I will also like to bring up, is this not the most Notre Dame thing
100%.
To happen?
100%.
Like, there's no excuse to lose that game.
No. Zero. You pay them $1.4 million to just come and show up.
Get clowned.
Yeah. No, they looked like Notre Dame should have been the one that was getting the $1.4 million.
Oh, for sure. It's just such an embarrassing loss for Notre Dame. Where do you even go from here? And we'll kind of touch into that later. But, like, where do you go from here?
I mean, it's just such a hard thing for Notre Dame right now because Riley Leonard is supposed to come in and be your guy now.
They were hoping he would at least be in the Heisman talks.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near that.
Riley Leonard has definitely struggled through the gates to open up the season.
For sure.
And that's got to be very concerning for Notre Dame fans. Because if it's not Riley Leonard, I don't know who else you got.
I would not know who else you would consider.
Again, props to Northern Illinois.
Yeah,
Northern
absolutely.
Illinois.
Absolutely.
You guys go in there and beat the 5th-ranked team in the country. Yeah. And now you're 25 in the country.
Good for the head coach as well. You saw did you see that video?
I felt that so much.
Yeah. Like, especially because didn't he play there as well?
I think he either played there or was a player at some other school or some capacity. But
good for him.
You and I know how that feels. Like we've had experiences going and we weren't at Tech, but beating Tech at home when we were.
that's huge. And we kind of talked about in episode 1, like, especially, we're from Virginia. When you're at Virginia, there's one big name school. It's Virginia Tech. So to go to a school that's obviously not as big as Virginia Tech, you go to ODU, And to
which
win,
wasn't even a rivalry at the time.
it wasn't, but like because it's that big name school,
Yeah.
It gives you that extra chip. So we to a degree we do understand where the NIU coach is coming from
100%.
because you put in so much work, and we've done the weekly and daily grind of working in college football just to experience a win, and when you experience that against a big name school like that,
Especially when they're ranked number 5.
yeah,
On
it's honestly
national television,
it's an amazing feeling.
100%.
Such an amazing. I can only imagine how
Again,
it feels.
props to Northern Illinois. I hope you guys have a good, successful rest of the year.
Absolutely.
Moving on, we got Iowa State and Iowa. That was a very back and forth game.
It was
for most of the game.
It was. I had Iowa winning that game.
Yeah.
A little disappointed in that, but props to Iowa State. They were totally in for the battle, and they deserve that win. Honestly,
it's kind of a matter of, well, after week 1, Iowa's offense looked like it might have turned the page. Mm-hmm. They improved. That was always Iowa's biggest problem was that they couldn't get it done on offense. They always had a good defense, but the offense was just so stagnant. And then you get Iowa State, who, like I said, you don't know if their defense is just that good or if Iowa's back to the same old Iowa and their offense is just going to struggle again. But I don't know. You have anything else for that game?
No, like I said earlier, just props to Iowa State. They at the end of the day, it just looked like they wanted it more.
Yeah, 100%.
In college football, that's all it really comes down to. It's just how much more do you want it than the other team.
Well, and I mean, back to the case of ODU Virginia Tech, not to this level. This is the battle for Iowa.
Yeah.
There is so much at stake in this game.
When it's an in-state, it's one thing seeing like in-state rivalries or in-state battles as a fan. It's a completely different level because it's not even a game day thing. Yeah. You look forward to that like 2 or 3 weeks in advance.
100%.
Like
especially this early in the season.
Yeah, when it's an in-state battle, it's just you go a little harder in practice in the meeting rooms and just everything. It means that much more. Yeah. So I do feel good for Iowa State here.
Yeah. And then moving on to the next game, the game we talked about last week about potential upset alert.
Yeah, close.
Boise State and Oregon. Oregon was that close. They were a kick return away from losing that game.
Dude, are they frauds?
Oregon?
Yeah.
Potentially.
And it sucks because I had them in the national championship against Oregon, so now I kind of look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And it's weird saying that because they are 2-0. Boise State is a good team. They did beat them.
It's just not a very convincing 2-0.
As Oregon, you would win more convincingly, and they just haven't done that the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, if I'm Oregon, Dan Lanning, I mean, again, brought in all the talent in the world. He can really recruit. Brings in guys from the portal with Evan Stewart, Dylan Gabriel, on and on and on. And then he brings in Jordan Birch, who's a former 5-star, looked awesome in that game.
Their receiving core is great, too.
I'm
a huge Tez Johnson fan.
Tez Johnson won them that game with the kick return, or he had the punt return touchdown.
I believe so.
He had the punt return touchdown that kept them close in that game. Without those 2 special teams touchdowns, they lose that game.
That's Boise State's game right there.
Even with the touchdowns, Boise State should have. Even with the special teams touchdowns, Boise State should have won that game.
Yeah, if I'm an Oregon fan, I'm very concerned right now.
And if you're a Boise State fan, I would be so excited because you guys are probably going to be the 12th team this year.
It's looking like most likely, yeah.
Unless Northern Illinois can just keep winning.
I mean, that's
they got the record.
That's a little of a stretch, but I mean, never say never, I guess.
They got the win. How do you say? And I mean, going back a little bit to Notre Dame, like, what do you do now that you're not in a Power 5 conference?
No, the highest you could have gotten was 5.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if you were to go undefeated, 5 is your best chance.
Yeah, 5 automatically because of how the playoff is structured. The highest you could have gotten was 5. There's no shot you're getting 5 now.
Yeah, I mean, and then we're jumping around a little bit. Oregon, Boise State again. Ashton Genty, like you said earlier, he might be my pick for Heisman right now. He's right there.
He has a legitimate shot to win it. There's a clear, what am I trying to say? Not a clear path, but there's a visible path for him to take to win the Heisman.
I remember watching that game. I think I sent you a text, or maybe I tweeted it, that Ashton Genty right now is on pace for 42 touchdowns.
Yeah.
42 touchdowns in a single season?
Yeah.
That's crazy, especially with the team like Georgia Southern. Okay, We get it. You can probably put up some points on Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
You go into Oregon and still score 2 touchdowns off 150 yards on the ground, and you're getting like 5-6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Like, just looks so convincing.
Mm-hmm.
But Boise State headed in the right direction for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon, not so much. And in the last game we're going to talk about is Nebraska and Colorado.
Yeah. Dylan Raiola's looking promising.
Dylan Raiola, the Pat Mahomes wannabe.
Yeah.
But
he's kind of earned it.
How bad of a thing is it to want to be Pat Mahomes? That's the thing I've taken away from it. Everybody's hating on the kid for wanting to be Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
But when we were kids, everybody wanted to be Tom Brady.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, he didn't have the swagger.
Not to that, but the play.
Yeah.
He wants to like cosplay as Mahomes.
I would say I think it's a fine line between admiring and just being weird about it. I don't think he's necessarily being weird about it, especially like you're playing at a high level, so like you have that excuse. It's not like he's out there playing like pickup football. Like that would be pretty weird. But no, like he played well. Matt Rule has them playing inspiring football.
The future is looking very bright for Nebraska.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely on the right path, especially Raiola being a true freshman. Like you can't help but think like, in the next couple years they should
be back in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you bring in some top classes. Who wouldn't want to play with that kid right now?
Yeah, and again, just a tough outing for Colorado, man.
I don't understand what Deion's gonna like. I don't understand what he's trying to do.
It's not even. You could bring up what's happening on the field. It's everything surrounding it that's just making it that much worse.
Yeah, there's too much unwanted attention, and like you said, once you're bad and you have all that attention on you, it becomes amplified.
Yeah, it just gets worse, especially being as high profile as that team is for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, when you win, it gets amplified. When you lose, it gets amplified. So,
and it doesn't help when you have your head coach crying after the game about everything, other than his kids.
Yeah, which we will get into in a very short bit. Yeah. But yeah, it's...
Deion, not even just Deion, Colorado in general, I wouldn't be shocked if they win 4 games.
I did see, this is kind of making the social media rounds. People are bringing up a good point where they keep pointing at the O-line, and this isn't to excuse the O-line for what they're doing, but they do have a point in, like, I feel like I have room to talk, being that I worked very closely with offensive line for years at the Division I FBS level. I feel like, just from an outsider's perspective, I'm speaking strictly from an outsider's perspective on Colorado's O-line, and it may not even be their fault necessarily. They seem, as a unit, they want to be too flashy, if that makes sense. It's not necessarily the put your hand in the dirt, just put your helmet through someone's chest.
Yeah.
It's the, look at us, we're at Colorado, we're at Deion, get the swag, get the film, get the videos, get everything. Like, no, as an O-line room, and again, I feel like I have room to talk being in an O-line room.
I mean, that's
for years. It's a mentality. When you step into that facility, it is a mentality when you're an offensive lineman.
I mean, and it's evident with what just happened with their O-line. Yeah. Their left tackle was committed to Maryland for months.
Mm-hmm.
And right before signing day, flips to Colorado.
Yeah.
And he's a starting left tackle for Colorado now. But he wanted to go to Colorado to be one of the cool guys.
Yeah.
He wanted,
and honestly, that's an issue. Like, Jimbo Fisher said this when he was still at Florida State, and I thought it was perfectly saying, think of an offense as a Ferrari, right?
Mm-hmm.
And think of the offensive line as the engine. That Ferrari could sit in the lot, look real nice, look real pretty. It's not going anywhere without that engine.
Yeah.
That's what an offensive line is to an offense.
Yeah.
You could have Shador, you could have Travis Hunter, you could have all the cameras, all the celebrities, all that. If that engine is not working hard, if that engine isn't getting dirty and willing to lay on the line for the team and for that quarterback, that car's not going
Well, and
anywhere.
they also all have to work together.
Yeah.
They have to be on the same page, because if you don't, there's a misfire.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's just really messy for Colorado all around.
It's not looking good for them. They're trending down for me, and I think for everybody at this point. Nebraska, on the rise.
Yeah.
Watch out for them in the next couple of years. I think they could be one of the next top 10 teams.
I agree, for sure.
So next we're moving on to the just storylines we got from this past week in college football.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's looking like Texas and Georgia and then everybody else. Maybe throwing Ohio State in there.
I would, and I have a close friend who's an Ohio State fan. I kind of brought this up to him for the Sunday night game. I did say, could it possibly be Texas, Georgia versus everyone? He did bring up a good point that I wouldn't say yet just because Ohio State hasn't gotten the opportunity to really play someone like Texas has to prove that they are in that talk. But if we're judging it just based on the first 2 weeks, which is what we're doing, I would say it is Texas and Georgia versus everyone else.
Like you said, throwing Ohio State in there, they have a $20 million roster. They spent $20 million to put that roster together. You have studs at every position. Crazy. $20 million is a lot of money. It doesn't seem like a lot when you talk about a football perspective, but a college football,
that's a lot of
money. $20 million for an entire roster.
That's crazy. Not your staff. To
put that into perspective, the highest paid NIL player ever was Arch Manning. He got $2.6 million.
Yeah.
$20 million for a roster.
For 18 to 22-year-olds in one building. Yeah.
But going back to the Texas-Georgia point, if I'm Texas, I'm mad right now.
Really?
We should be number one. Why are we not number one? You just beat the 10th ranked team in the country at home. And again, it's not the same Michigan we're used to. But where they were ranked when you played them at their stadium, which is a tough place to play. Mm-hmm. You just go into Michigan, beat them really bad. How are you not the number one ranked team?
I see where you're coming from with that. And I can't even necessarily disagree with you. Like, I don't have a problem with Georgia being at one, though.
No, I don't either. But guess what? This will get figured out in a couple weeks.
It will.
They play each other.
Yeah.
That game is going to be one of the most hyped games in the past couple of years that I can remember.
For sure.
Going into that game should be 1 versus 2. Yeah. And I don't think it'll change by then. Unless Ohio State. Because Ohio State's on bye this week, and I think they play week 4. So going into week 4, 1 and 2, Texas and Georgia at Texas, Austin is going to be crazy that week.
Yeah.
And I think there's an F1 race that week, which that Austin's going to be crazy.
Fire. The city's on fire.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia, Texas, throwing Ohio State in there. Yeah. I think those are the top 3 right now.
For sure.
And I think there's a pretty decent gap between Ohio State and maybe Alabama.
Yeah, I'd say so. I wouldn't necessarily look that as like a bad thing for Alabama, but as of now,
especially with the whole new staff coming in, you guys still look like a top 5 team.
Yeah,
you struggle a little bit at the beginning of the game, leading into the third quarter against USF.
Yeah,
but you still got the job done. You won by 20-something points.
Yeah.
So I mean, you did what you were supposed to do. It just didn't look as good as it was. Everybody thought it would.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next point we're moving on to is Marcus Freeman on the hot seat?
I would say he is. Like, when he was hired to take that next step, put them in that next category.
Yeah.
That, Coach Kelly couldn't do. You can't look at the last. How long has he been in charge? 3 years.
Yeah.
4 years. 3. I'll say 3 seasons.
3.
Has in the past 3 seasons has he taken that step? Has Notre Dame as a team taken that step? So why go on with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Notre Dame again is just in such a tricky spot, especially with how the playoff is set up now. Like we said, you can go undefeated, but the best you're going to finish is 5. Mm-hmm. You have to be in a conference. Like, I'm not even necessarily putting it all on Freeman. Again, the play is on him for sure, but you're just setting him up in a bad spot anyway. Like, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, they could all lose a game and still get in. Notre Dame has to win out convincingly now to even have a shot of getting into the
But my thing
playoff.
Is, like, I would even put they're not in the conference as an excuse for that. Because let's say they lose to, like, Michigan.
Yeah.
We're not talking to them the same. We're not talking about them the same way we're talking about them now. They lose to Michigan. It's how they're losing and who they're losing to.
Yeah.
That's like, all right, push the panic button. And you can't help but look at Marcus Freeman and be like, you're not helping
I mean, because wasn't it was it 2 years ago when they lost to Marshall at home too?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's definitely been some really bad losses for him.
I just don't see the need to keep him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't say he is on the hot seat, but I would say his seat is definitely getting warmer.
I think it's to the point where
if they don't make the playoffs,
if they don't make the playoffs, you look for a new coach. I'm beyond. And I like Marcus Freeman. I thought he was the right choice at the time to be the head coach. He just hasn't done a convincing job as a head coach.
No, I get that. I get that for sure. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is Shedor's character a concern if you're an NFL team?
I would say so. And, we have had the privilege of, working in FBS programs and, you more so because Texas, at least with
scouts.
With my schools, we had 1 or 2 scouts every day. I'm sure Texas has.
There were GMs.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah. But, even with the smaller schools, ODU and Navy, there's at least 1 or 2 scouts every practice. Mm-hmm. Talking to strength coaches, talking to different position coaches, just anyone they can really talk to get a better idea of who the player is they're looking at.
Yeah.
They don't even need to really do that because Shedor's displaying it for everyone to see.
He's doing it in post-game press conference.
So, how could you not be concerned as – because it's not like we're looking at him as like a day 3 pick.
No.
We're looking at him as a top 5, top 10 pick.
Yeah. Teams are going to be scared of
giving him the keys to a franchise.
Yeah.
How, with what he's saying in interviews and how he's conducting himself, can you not just kind of raise your eyebrow as a scout? Like, you're not going to want to bring that back to your team.
No.
Because that's on you at that point.
And, I mean, especially to the point where it's gotten is Dion has come out openly and said, my son is going to get to pick what team he plays for.
Yeah. Which you might be able to do that in the NBA maybe. I don't know how. I mean, Eli put it off, but, Eli was clearly a top 3.
Yeah. Shedor still has room to show that he needs to be that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I don't know. Shedor is just a question mark for me right now if I'm an NFL team because, like you just said, the character concerns. He doesn't take accountability for himself.
That's really tough to do as a quarterback.
And you can put blame on the offensive line, but you do that on the side. You don't do that to the national media.
You go in, whether it be the locker room, you yourself go into the O-line room, whatever it may be, and I wouldn't say call them out. Like, this isn't the standard. What do y'all need from me? This is what I need from you, kind of thing. You don't, in front of cameras, microphones, national media, say what you say. Mm-hmm. That's you don't do that as a quarterback. You don't do that as the face of a program, looking to next year be the face of an NFL franchise.
Yeah. No, basically just I think there is a question mark next to his name right now if I'm an NFL team.
Absolutely. Because the talent's there. It's everything else.
It's like, do you want to put all that on your franchise?
It's hard to say yes to that,
exactly.
Honestly.
Unless you do what I said last week and you bring Dion with him. And then that goes out the window and he takes all the heat.
I don't know. I mean, it can't be. Maybe he does. Maybe Dion does end up coaching the NFL. It won't be for Dallas. Because
I said last week,
contract.
Like I said last week, the Giants will get Shedor, Travis,
Did
and
not
Dion.
say that.
No, I was definitely wrong about Dallas. Dallas, we'll get into it. Dallas looks like they're going to be all right. But so then next thing we're going to move on, new top 10. We got Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Bama, Ole Miss, Mizzou, Tennessee, Penn State, Oregon, and Miami.
Yeah. Again,
you got anybody that's a little high, a little low, someone that should be in there?
We brought it up last week that Miami should have been in the top 10, so I'm happy to see they are now. Good to see teams like Ole Miss, Mizzou, Tennessee, they moved up. I thought they deserved it. I didn't really pay attention to see what Penn State was. They were either 6 or 8, right? Did they stay at 8?
I think they fell a little bit.
I wouldn't blame them. They haven't looked as convincing as I hoped they would be, but saw Oregon fell. Can't really
blame them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Oregon should be out of the top 10 right now, and you throw USC up there. Maybe bump up Miami to 9, throw USC in at 10, put Oregon at 11. Again, they're 2-0, so it's hard to not have them in the top 10.
I will agree that USC has looked better than Oregon.
USC is just, they were just so weird last year because they had all the talent, but their defense was just holding them back. It was
awful,
And like we talked about last week, their defense looked competent this year. And it's all you really need.
Yeah.
Because their offense is always going to be high-powered. You got Lincoln Riley, who's always going to have a good offense.
Yeah.
And you just need a defense that can hold a team to under 28 points.
Yeah. I was going to say 30, but that's fine too.
You should win. If you hold a team to under 4 touchdowns, if you're a USC team, you're going to win a lot of those games.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick shout-out to Navy. Great, solid win, very convincing on both sides. Really all 3 phases. Great start, 2-0. Have a bye week this week, and then move on to Memphis. I plan on going to that game, so I'm pretty excited for that. But yeah, shout-out Navy. Roll Goats. Sure.
Roll Goats.
Roll Goats.
Yes, sir. I didn't even know that was their saying.
Yeah.
Roll Goats?
Dude, when I used to write letters to recruits, one of the things I always put is hashtag Roll Goats at the bottom.
That's funny. And I mean, while we're doing shout-outs, it's not really a shout-out, but ODU, come on. You guys got to close these games.
I didn't plan on bringing it up, but now that you're bringing it up, I mean, that's a tough loss because that's a winnable game.
It's just so – because to me – and like, it just seems like ODU plays to the level of competition that they play against. They go into South Carolina and keep up with them. South Carolina killed Kentucky this week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
They killed Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Another SEC team.
Yeah.
And then you play ECU and you're in a close game with them when you guys had plenty of chances to go and put that game away. You guys should have beat ECU.
You'll be at the game this weekend, but I don't see them beating Tech, I'm going to be honest. And I love, this guy knows it. Any chance I get to slander Virginia Tech, I'm taking it. Honestly, it's really hard for me. As much as I want ODU to win this one.
Yeah.
It's just because we know how great that feels. It's really hard for me to comfortably be like, yeah, ODU will win this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to pick them, especially with Tech. Did they win last week?
They did.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So they bounced back after week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Get the win last week, and now you go to ODU, who's always been your rival, and
Ollie Jennings is back home.
Ollie Jennings is back home. I'm expecting a big game. I can't wait to see him. That's my guy. Shout out Ollie Jennings.
Shout out Ollie, cool dude.
But yeah, I hope ODU can pull it off. I don't know. I don't see it this week. All right, moving on to some NFL football.
Yes, what a great week 1.
I'm sure you were excited. You saw some flashes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different storylines here, a lot of different things we could kind of go with. Where did you want to kind of start with this?
So, I mean, like you said, top storyline we're going to start off with from this past week. Do the Niners even need McCaffrey?
I see where you're coming from with that angle. I still say yes, just because he's that dude. The backup, and I watched the game. I just forgot his name.
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason looked very good. Undrafted guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Georgia Tech.
Very good, very convincing.
Did you see he got in trouble?
He did. People open their mouth too much, man.
I mean, how much do you blame that on him, though?
No, the 49ers should have done it the right way.
Yeah.
If this is all alleged. This is all alleged. We don't know if this is true.
He allegedly knew Friday he was playing. Starting.
Allegedly, he found out Friday that he was starting, which by NFL rules, the 49ers should have said something to the league by that time to, kind of get not just the whole gambling thing, just to kind of get everything.
Did you watch the post-game interview when he was on the field?
I didn't see it till I was on Twitter and I
was watching it live.
Really?
And I was sitting there and I tapped my girlfriend. I was like, I can't believe he knew on Friday.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of crazy that they kept that in for that
long. It is, because I had McCaffrey starting in fantasy and I lost by 10 points because I thought McCaffrey was playing, just to find out 20 minutes before the game that he wasn't.
Yeah.
So
talk more about, do they need him? I'm on the side, no. If I'm the Niners right now, I'm trading McCaffrey.
Really?
You're getting 2 first-round picks for him right now.
I think,
call me
crazy, I think he's more valuable than Brock Purdy.
It didn't show that this past game. And the Jets, hold on. But you play against the Jets defense, who last year had the best defense in the NFL, and you run all over them with your backup running back.
Yeah.
Why do you need McCaffrey?
But it's not like he did that by himself. That's a great O-line that's blocking for him. I feel you could put almost – okay, I get what you're saying, but McCaffrey offers way too much to just say, all right, go away.
But did you see how they did it though? You put Debo back there, and then you get Pearsall back whenever he's back.
You can't put Debo back there most snaps.
He did.
But you can't do that on a consistent weekly basis.
They do that when
his body's going to deteriorate.
They do that when McCaffrey's
They don't do it as much when McCaffrey's playing. When McCaffrey's on the field, they'll have him in motion and stuff, but they won't have him line up in the backfield doing all these different things.
No, I mean,
as consistently.
I get that. It's just, how much do you need him? Like, why not trade him to get a couple? I'm not even saying a couple first. Maybe you get a first and a third. You get a first and a third, and you build your O-line even more.
Look,
or you get a defensive player. You get an edge rusher, another guy to put on the other side of Bosa.
Look, we don't know how long McCaffrey's out. Let's say he's out 6 weeks, and Mason's consistently playing like this. Then it could be like, all right, maybe we could look into that. But after one game, I can't sit here and be like, yeah.
The only reason I'm on the side of yes, you can do it is because you just went up against the team that had the best defense in the league last year, and you bully them with Jordan Mason. Why do you need McCaffrey?
But how? Yeah, I see where you're coming from with, that was the number one defense last year and stuff. But how much do you blame the defense, and how much do you blame Saleh for just not getting his guys ready?
Yeah, which is bringing us to our next point: is how much does Saleh have to blame in the Jets looking like how they did?
I think, as crazy as it sounds, I don't think he's getting as much blame as he should.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the 49ers bully you and stuff. Like, is the 49ers offense that much better than the Jets defense? I personally don't think so, but they definitely showed it, and I think that's a result of Saleh just not getting his guys in the right position to make those plays.
Yeah, I mean, I think Saleh probably won't be the head coach after this year. After week one, again, it's week one.
Yeah,
we can't
so many things can happen.
Yeah, they could go on and just win the rest of their games.
Yeah,
could happen. Do I think it's gonna happen? No, but I don't know. Saleh just doesn't seem like he's the right guy.
I think if they don't go past the divisional, I can't see Saleh as the head coach of the Jets for next year.
I think you just got to make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, I think he stays.
I don't think that's good.
If they don't make the playoffs, but that's my point, is if they don't make the playoffs, he's gone.
But all right, let's say they do make the playoffs, either as win the division, don't win the division, whatever. Say you lose in the wild card. You don't fire him after that? I definitely would.
No, because the Jets haven't made the playoffs in forever.
Doesn't matter. You have Aaron. They gave up. I wouldn't say they gave up so much, but like the hype around just getting Aaron Rodgers was so big, and you have that.
I know, but you had something
great defense.
You had something that was out of your control the first season.
I get that, but now it's not. You know what I'm saying? So if you lose in a wild card, that's not the standard. That's not the expectation. How you not just like, all right, dude, you can't get it done. And it's not like his first year was Rodgers' first year. Yes, Zach Wilson didn't work out. Maybe that wasn't Saleh's fault. But that still wasn't good enough, at least for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just think if they make the playoffs, and I'm not even saying they need to win a game in the playoffs. I just think if the Jets make the playoffs with the seasons that they've had prior, I think that buys Saleh some time. And I know you probably don't agree with that and think that they should get rid of him even if they make it and don't win a game.
I think even if they win a wild card and lose in the divisional,
crazy.
I think even if they lose the divisional, you fire him. It is AFC Championship or you're gone.
You know we're talking about the Jets, right?
Yes, but look at that roster. Look, you just said they had the best defense
last year.
Why shouldn't they have? They should have at least a top 3 defense this year.
And again, they got some not even question marks, just like some more storylines that happened for them this year because it's the Jets. Hassan Reddick not showing up kind of hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
You're expecting a guy that's going to hopefully get 10 sacks for you to come right into this defense and just doesn't show up. Yeah. And again, how much do you go back to blaming the personnel? Because why do they not know that this guy's not going to show up for you? It's another character thing. You got to get a guy that's going to want to play for you.
I get you. Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think you can blame Saleh too much yet. We got to wait a couple games.
For sure. No, like you said earlier, this is all week 1. Who knows what could happen? Yeah. So we'll see. As of now, I think Saleh's seat is extremely hot.
Okay. I don't agree, but we'll move on from there. We got How did you think some of the rookies played this week?
Personally, as a Washington supporter, if we're speaking specifically on rookies,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty happy. Out of 10, I'd give Jaden Daniels an 8.9. I think of all the quarterbacks, I think he looked the best. Caleb struggled,
He
man.
struggled.
Yeah, he
And
did.
it's Rome gets hurt, but like you're brought in as the number one pick. You have all the hype in the world around you. You look good in preseason, and then you come out and you play the Titans, who I did, by the way, say last week, the Titans defense is slept on. The Titans have a good defense.
Yeah, it's better than I thought it would be, for sure.
The Titans are going to win some games this year, and I think they might sneak into the playoffs. That's what I said last week.
I don't know.
Their offense is scary still, but their defense is going to keep them in games. The Bears were supposed to come in and score 30 points that game. Their offense is supposed to be really high.
Yeah, which is why I'm shocked, because last week I talked about all the weapons they had, and I'm a big believer that Caleb is finally the guy for that franchise. So to see him perform the way he did, it was kind of, I did take me aback a little bit, because I did expect a lot more. But talking about to switch it up, someone who did do good, Neighbors, I thought looked pretty well. Your guy BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr.
cooked Jalen Ramsey on a couple routes.
You did. I'll give you that. You did call that, and I would like to say I did say that I like him. I did think that he's gonna end up being.
You still think Jalen Ramsey's a top 5 corner? No.
Ah, man.
No. And hold on. Well, I want to say this before we move on. I cannot believe that I did not say Sauce Gardner last week. I don't know how I didn't say Sauce Gardner. Just being a Bills fan, I kind of forget about the Jets. So, Sauce Gardner, obvious number one. I don't know why I didn't say him.
It's hard. We're put on a spot with a camera and lights. So,
and it was Charvarius Ward was the Niners corner.
Yes.
I think he's better too.
Look, it's hard after pre-week 1. I would say no. Post-week 1, it's hard to kind of defend Jalen Ramsey the way I did last week.
And again, I understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. It's Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
How do you not like Jalen Ramsey?
Exactly.
But it never fails. As soon as a corner hits 30,
it's hard to argue that after. And not even to say his performance was that bad.
But you get cooked by a rookie.
He did.
It was because of what I said. It's the speed that Brian Thomas has.
Yeah.
Can just change a game, and especially against an elite corner like Jalen Ramsey, who's 30. The speed matters when you're playing an older corner. Yeah. Tre'Davious White, cooked by Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
All right, we're kind of getting off topic a little
bit. But we talked about my rookie. What about your rookie, Keon Coleman? What did you think?
I thought he looked good. He did some things I really wanted him to see. I really wanted to see from him. He ran a little curl route that was an option route, and he sat in his own coverage exactly where he was supposed to sit. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing. Is he going to be able to be a good route runner at that next level? Mm-hmm. Now, is that an easier route for him to run? Sure. He caught a drag route, pretty easy route, mm-hmm. and then he goes up and makes a dunk on one of the corners for one of his other catches. I was very pleased with how he looked.
No, I liked Keon coming through the draft process and stuff. He did solid. I think there's a lot more things to come from him. I think he'll clearly be Josh Allen's number 1 target.
No,
really, you still don't think
Shakir.
So? I don't know. I think this was a great start. I think as he progresses and gets better, gets more comfortable, I think he will exceed Shakir.
What I said last week, he is the Gabe Davis, and he played exactly that role this week, to a better degree than what we're used to Gabe Davis playing. Shakir is the new Diggs. He will be the number 1 guy.
If you say so, dude.
I'm telling you. Shakir, I think, could amass 1,000 yards this year. And I think he will. I don't know. I'm just really high on Shakir. Coleman, awesome. Mac Hollins even looked good. And then we're getting way too far ahead of even just talking about some of the other players. We're going to get into them when we do our game predictions. But
you brought up number 1. Let's talk about another number 1, Xavier Worthy. He had a really good Thursday night game. 2 tutties. I gotta bring it up, dude. I gotta ask you about this. Are the Bills secretly working for the Chiefs? Think about it. Chiefs, Bills, years ago, make a trade. Chiefs trade up. Who do they choose? Pat Mahomes, the guy that pretty much completed their dynasty. Years later, same situation. Bills are on the board. Who comes calling? The Chiefs. Make a deal. Who do the Chiefs choose? When the Bills need a receiver. The Bills need a receiver. They had the opportunity. Chiefs jump ahead, or trade with you rather. Who they choose? Xavier Worthy. And that's his week one performance. That's his introduction to the NFL. What's your reaction to that?
All right. Well, I'm sick of that. I'm going to be honest.
Why?
Do you want to know what would have happened if the Bills stay there and make a pick?
What would have happened?
They picked Keon Coleman. Now what?
No.
Now what?
Completely disagree.
They were going to take Xavier Worthy.
I don't know who they would have chosen.
They would have picked
no, because they traded back twice in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Because they wanted Keon.
So why not just choose him either time?
What?
You had two chances to choose Keon the first round. Get that fifth-year option. They chose not to. Why not?
Which teams in between the Bills and the Chiefs were taking a receiver? None of them did.
Well, if you believe in your guy that much, why not just take him then? Because I know good and well
they're smart.
I know good and well there's no way the Bills knew who the Chiefs were going to take. Was it a little obvious that it could have been Xavier Worthy? Sure, but if you believe in a guy that much, you don't take that chance, especially with a team that beats you consistently every year in the playoffs you are chasing.
I'm just sick of that because the Bills all along are taking Keon Coleman. They were going to take Keon Coleman.
I disagree.
If they stay at 27, they're taking Keon Coleman. And guess what? No receivers go. The Chiefs have the next pick after none of the receivers go. They take Xavier Worthy with 30? What were they, 31, 32? They had 32.
32, yeah.
They take him at 32. What's the difference?
I think if you believe in a guy that much, you don't take a chance. You draft him right there.
But why? Why? You don't need to.
Why not?
You get capital, move back.
All right. Let's say, hypothetically. All right, fine. Let's go along with your scenario. Sure. We'll go along with that. You don't trade to the Chiefs, the team that you are chasing, the team that is clearly better than you, the team that you should want to be because they keep whooping you in the playoffs every year, the team that you want to be because you can never reach the promised land. Am I wrong?
I mean, I get where everybody's coming from with that standpoint, for sure. And it's not even just the Bills that it's hurting. It's hurting the entire NFL.
It is. So why? That's what I'm asking. Are the Bills secretly working for them, helping them out? Because they are giving them their Super Bowl rings. They have given how many rings does Mahomes have now? 3. Try and go on 4. He has 4.
Is it 4 or is it 3?
I think he's been to 4, 1, 3. It's 1, 3, been to 4.
Yeah, because he would have 3 in a row.
The Bills have given the Chiefs 3 rings.
How can you say that, though?
Because
Pat Mahomes coming out of college was not a for sure thing. I'm not saying he got lucky.
Who did the Chiefs trade with to get their franchise guy?
The Bills.
The Bills gave the Chiefs Patrick Mahomes. It could have been any other. There are 30 other teams to choose from at that point.
You know who we picked for that pick, though?
Who?
Tre'Davious White.
Where's he at now?
He's not on the team, but
Where's Pat Mahomes right now? Going for his 3-peat and his 4th ring, 5th appearance.
I'm just sick of them saying, why are you giving the Chiefs Worthy when they would have gotten him anyway? You move back, you get some capital. You're going to take... So you don't move back, you get no capital, and then you still get Keon. What is the difference?
The difference is that Keon and the Bills will be on the couch in February watching Mahomes lift his 5th trophy or 4th trophy. That's the difference.
It wouldn't have mattered because
matter.
We were taking Keon.
My big point with this is any team but the Chiefs. Why are the Bills consistently helping out the Chiefs?
Because they gave us a 3rd round pick to move back 4 spots at the end of the first round.
That's fine. They're going to get a 3-peat ring.
They were going to take him at 32 anyway.
He may not have fell at 32.
Who was taking him?
What? The Panthers drafted a receiver. What if the Panthers were interested in Xavier more than Leggett and were looking
What is the one thing that made the most sense in this draft? Leggett going to the Panthers. He stays home.
But the thing is, the Panthers didn't even have a 1st-round pick.
Exactly.
So who knows?
So we were even smarter. Hold on.
No, because you just...
Where was Brandon Beane from? The Bills GM Brandon Beane worked for the Panthers. You don't think Brandon Beane was like, you have to tell me who you're picking?
Okay, they definitely did, but at the same time, like we're just going along with your story. Like let's say, they stay there, choose Keon, whatever, and Xavier
goes to the Chiefs at 32.
But we don't know if he does. We don't know if another team is interested in jumping the Chiefs to get Xavier Worthy.
Okay, so what? Why does it matter?
It matters because you guys are the one that gave it to him. He fell to their laps because you guys allowed it.
Go ahead, sure.
It's like it's the same comparison of, the Giants allowing Saquon to go on the Eagles.
I just think it's so funny that the Bills are the problem for this. Why is it the Bills' problem? If Worthy so let's just say Worthy goes to another team, and Worthy gets drafted before the Chiefs' next pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
They take Leggett. What happens then? What if Leggett's still really good for the Chiefs? It wouldn't have mattered. It's Andy Reid.
But we're talking about if scenarios. I'm talking about what did happen. We're talking about what did happen. What happens that you guys gave the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, another weapon to work with.
And I will stand on, I would rather have Keon Coleman right now and be in the spot we're in than not trading back and taking Keon and not getting an extra third-round pick.
I mean, we'll see once the season kind of concludes.
And not to mention, I think that they forced him the ball. And the one touchdown he caught, he was wide open.
You go blame Xavier Worthy for that?
It was a blown coverage. It's not like he did anything crazy. It wasn't like, oh my God, he's Tyreek Hill.
No, I agree with that, but the first touchdown was impressive. He's fast. He's insanely fast.
He's fast. Who else is fast? John Ross. Where's John Ross?
All right, but you can't compare the two right now.
Why?
It's still week one, and
exactly. We know nothing about it.
Xavier Worthy's first game is better than John Ross's entire career.
John Ross caught an 80-yard touchdown in his first game.
All right, but he also didn't have Patrick Mahomes.
So what?
What do you mean, so what? That's a huge thing.
I hate that the Bills are getting blamed for this. They did the right thing.
Because they deserve the blame,
They did the right thing. No. They were going to take Keon at 27. They trade back to 32. Then they trade back again because they made the Panthers tell them who they were picking. And then
I agree with that point that they did.
They were going to take the guy they were going to take at 27. So why does it matter?
Because you ended up giving Mahomes.
But they get the guy that they wanted.
But you are chasing them. They're not chasing you. You want to be them. They don't want to be you.
But in their perspective, getting Keon brings them closer to what the Chiefs are.
I don't know. I don't see it happening. I just think they ended up making the Chiefs stronger. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they could have. But at the same time, we got stronger, and we got the guy we wanted.
Yeah, you guys got stronger, but they were already stronger than you guys. And then you just made them more stronger.
It's not our problem.
It will be when you face them in the playoffs, though. That's the whole thing about this. You face them in the playoffs, and they end up beating you. Why do they beat you? Because the players that you allow them to pick by trading with them are beating you.
We'll see. I think we got them this year.
I don't. And you don't either. You said 3-peat.
Yeah.
So you don't have it working out.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's week one. Anything can happen.
Xavier Worthy tears ACL at practice tomorrow.
I hope not. He's exciting to watch.
You were awesome. I really like Xavier Worthy. Yeah. But also, going back to that, pre-draft, I said Xavier Worthy only works, and I know we didn't get any talk about pre-draft or anything on this, so this is brand new for you guys.
Yeah.
Pre-draft, I said Xavier Worthy only works if he goes to the Chiefs.
I could see that. I think a good amount of people thought that for sure. Just because you could utilize him in so many different ways.
Which, again, was one of the best unkept secrets of the draft, was that Worthy was going to end up being a Chief. And like I said, it wouldn't have mattered because we would have picked Keon, and then they get Worthy at 32. That's what would have happened. And if not, they would have traded up the next pick and then got him there. So what's the difference? I just you can't blame the Bills for this. They got the guy they wanted, and the Bills are getting blamed for giving the Chiefs their next Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't think it is. I think it's a good argument.
All right, whatever. We're sticking on the Bills though. We're moving on to week 2 predictions. Opening up this week, we got the Bills and the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Who you got? I already know where you're going with this.
Well, everyone knows where you're going, and as you should. I'd be pretty pissed off. I'd be pretty pissed off if you weren't picking the Bills. I'm gonna have to go with Dolphins though, because I have them winning the division, and Bills didn't look as strong as I know you would have hoped against Arizona. So
they started slow.
They did. I mean, Miami did too.
Took them a couple quarters.
Yeah, Miami started off slow too, but the Jaguars to me are better than the Cardinals. So I feel like there's a little...
But yes, the Jaguars are better based off of my narrative. 100% the Jaguars are better.
Either way, I got the Dolphins winning tomorrow night. Who do you have? Even though everyone knows who you have.
I'm taking the Bills.
Shocker.
And you want to know why I'm taking the Bills?
Why?
Because Josh Allen gets to go see his kids. Every 2 times a year, Josh Allen gets to go be a father. And he gets to go see his children.
Keep a straight face.
He gets to go see his children. Josh Allen is 10-2 against the Dolphins in his career. Josh Allen is the Miami Dolphins' father.
So it's hard to argue with that record.
He has won Offensive AFC Player of the Week 5 times after playing the Dolphins. He's 10-2, 1-0 in the playoffs against them. He's scored 41 touchdowns against them to only 13 turnovers, which everyone says Josh Allen's a turnover merchant. 41-13, and you win 10 of those 12 games? That's pretty good, and he's thrown 2 touchdowns in all 13 of those games.
I mean, yes, the stats don't lie. I'll give you that, but I think this is a different Miami team.
Yeah, they're worse.
I wouldn't go that far. The Bills are worse.
No.
We just said last week that they regressed.
The Bills are winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, God. Delusion. All right, look. I'm going to say something. I am a realist fan. I am stuck in reality when it comes... When it comes to my teams, I'm in reality. You, on the other hand, thinking all these different things about...
How can you not be excited, though, as a Bills fan? You go down.
I'm not saying you shouldn't.
You go down 17-3 against the Cardinals. Does not look good at all.
No.
They go on to score 21 straight points.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and then they win the game. Like it wasn't even close. Like
it was close.
The score made it look closer than it was. They scored a touchdown late in the game.
Yeah.
On a kickoff return.
Get your special teams right. Gotta be ready in all 3 phases.
So when Josh Allen goes to see his children again on Thursday and spanks them because they've been misbehaving, because he hasn't seen them in a little while, he's got to slap them around a little bit.
Slap your kids when you don't see them?
Yeah. Especially when they've been misbehaving. They should have beat the Jaguars, and by your standards, by more than what they did.
It was a little closer than I thought it would be, but I wouldn't say it was, crazy. The Jaguars are a solid team.
I can't wait for the next person. And there's a picture online that it's each person Josh Allen has jumped over. Mm-hmm. You know who's getting added to that list on Thursday? Jordan Boyer. He's jumping over Jordan Boyer.
I'd be happy for him. That would be nice.
He's jumping over Jordan Boyer. Or he's running through him. Jordan Boyer will get lit up on Thursday night.
I hope Jordan Boyer has a pick 6 tomorrow night now.
He probably will get a pick too, but he's also getting jumped over. Well, with that being said, I will be taking the Bills. There's a couple things in that game. Teron Johnson, don't know how long he's going to be out. Bills' best corners, their slot corner, Teron. He got hurt. Mm-hmm. That's scary. We got Cam Lewis that went in there for him. He played pretty good. But that's definitely going to be concerning playing against a receiving core like the Dolphins. I'm not saying the Bills are going to go and kill them. Mm-hmm. If I had to say yes, they will. Because just the fan in me saying they will do that. But I don't think they will kill them. I think they'll win the game, though. And you said you're taking the Dolphins, right?
Yep.
All right. Bills, Dolphins. Done. Raiders, Ravens is the next game. I don't even think there's too much to talk about in this game.
No, I'm taking the Ravens. It sucks how they lost last week, but they still looked pretty solid. Raiders looked pretty shaky. I don't know if it'll be like that. It probably will be like that the rest of the season. But I like Antonio Pierce. Maybe he'll put up a decent fight, but I have the Ravens for sure. Yeah,
the only thing that scares me about the Ravens is why is Lamar sitting out practice already? You see that? He missed Monday. He didn't practice Monday.
Maybe a little soreness.
You already given him a vet day after week 1?
He's a vet.
After week 1?
That's if he comes out and balls out, though, no one will really be talking about it.
Sure, but just the long-term longevity of him, sitting out after sitting out your first practice after a game, after week 1, it's kind of scary. But again, I will be taking the Ravens like you. Not too much else in that game. Moving on, we got the Browns and the Jags. Who are you going with?
I'm going with the quarterback that shouldn't be in prison. I'm going with the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. The Browns looked awful last week. You might have to put the entire team in prison, but definitely the quarterback. I'm gonna go with Jaguars here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags too. I'm sticking on the Jags bandwagon. They should have beaten Miami last week. They just fell apart in the second half. I mean, the Browns offense, just like Deshaun, Deshaun is such an interesting case to me. How do you go from looking like a top 5 player in the entire league, to looking like a bottom 5 player in the entire league?
He likes bottoms.
He does. He does for sure. But like the offense is just very bad, and not having Chubb back there it's just rough for their offense.
Which is how Deshaun likes it.
Rough.
Shout out rough. A different kind of rough. Our rough. Not that rough. The other rough. Rough. Next game. We both have the Jaguars. Jets versus Titans. Who do you have?
I'm sticking on the Titans bandwagon like I did last week. I know we were talking about Saleh earlier. And last week I talked about the Titans. Their defense is going to be good. And they were good last week. They should have won the game. The coach came out after the game and said, if we would have just punted after halftime, every single drive, we win that game. Because our defense was stopping them. We gave up 2 offensive touchdowns to their defense in the Bears. And you lose that game. You can't let that happen. Like, I don't know. I'm really impressed with the Titans defense, though. And I think that they could win some games this year with that defense.
I get you. The Titans defense is better than I was giving them credit for. However, the Jets defense is even better. And when
not based off of what we saw. And I know it's
but
the
that's
Niners.
A solid offense.
I know it's the Niners. But you yourself said did I say that are the Jets even the best defense anymore? Patriots might have that.
They're a top 3 still, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, like I don't know. That offense is going to struggle with this defense.
I see that.
And Aaron Rodgers didn't look terrible Monday night.
No.
Like, he looked solid still.
He just didn't look like he wanted to be out there.
He's coming off an Achilles? He's coming off an Achilles tear. Like, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm having the Jets here for sure.
Right. I'm taking the Titans in that one. Next, we got the Niners and the Vikings.
Yeah, gotta go with Niners, man. They look really good. They really do. So.
Yep. Vikings impressed. Again, it was against the Giants, and we'll get to the Giants in a little bit. I know you can't wait to get onto the Giants.
I actually want to avoid it, but we'll save that for later. Continue.
But, I mean, Sam Darnold, early candidate for Comeback Player of the Year?
I will say this. When Sam Darnold was the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, by week 3, he was leading the league in rushing touchdowns. And what happened after that? Completely fell off. I think this is a replica of that. Not saying he will lead the league in any categories. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't think he will. But I think it will replicate it by he's going to look good maybe the first 2 or 3 weeks. I'm just going to skydive down. So, will he look good against the 49ers? Maybe. I don't know. But I think the 49ers are too powerful.
I mean, I'm taking the Niners in this game as well.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I want to bring up about the Niners is Ayuk overpaid?
With this market, I don't know about overpaid, and he still has to get in shape and get in the rhythm of things.
Is he the best receiver on their team right now?
No. I don't think he ever was, though.
Exactly. Why are you paying him like he is?
Is he making... I don't know this. Is he making more than Debo?
Yeah.
But you know once Debo's time comes, he's going to... It's all in the market.
28.
They're going to probably give him another contract, or at least an extension to what is already on his contract, and just give him more money.
Yeah. I think they overpaid Ayuk and should have let him go.
I don't know. I think with this market, I think he got paid what it is. Like, the market's crazy now.
No, it definitely is. But if I'm the Niners, like, you pay this guy all his money and he comes out there and drops a touchdown. And it's because he's not in camp. He refused to go to camp. And I get he wants his money. And good for him. He should want his money.
He extended it way longer than what it should have been.
Yeah. And if I'm the Niners, I wouldn't have even dealt with it. But I mean, again, that goes to show you how bad the Niners did want him back.
Yeah.
But if I was the Niners personally, you're a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that's what was going to happen. There was a deal in place that he was getting sent to Pittsburgh.
And Shanahan was like, "Look, you gotta
either pick us or them."
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, I'll sign."
Yeah. Which I don't know why they didn't just
do that earlier,
put the hammer down earlier. But I'm not on an NFL team, so what do I?
All I'm saying is I hope Sam Darnold gets a little revenge on the Niners this week. Although I am taking the Niners, I'm hoping Sam Darnold turns the page because I was always a fan of Sam Darnold.
You were. I was going to say something, but
what?
Your
pre-draft. I will openly say this.
Go ahead.
I've said some crazy things about Sam Darnold, and I'm not too proud of saying it about Sam Darnold based off of what his career path has been. But pre-draft, I may have said Sam Darnold is the next Tom Brady.
His words.
I did say that.
Yeah.
I was a huge Sam Darnold fan.
Insane.
Now, going back, what team was he on that ever had a chance of succeeding?
Fair. I mean, no, all right. What team was he on that he had a legitimate shot of being the QB1 and succeeding? You have a fair point there, yeah.
He goes to the Jets, who were the laughingstock of the league when he got
always is.
He goes to the Panthers. That was when the Panthers started to fall.
Severely.
And they had no weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to the backup with the Niners and gets to sit for a year, reevaluate things, learn some new mechanics. And it showed. He looked good.
Against a poor...
The Giants defense is still good. I still like the Giants defense.
I'm telling you, I know I'm kind of jumping a little ahead of here. I classify him with the same group as Baker Mayfield, and we'll get to that later. Trust us. I think those two are kind of the same, where they have showed you what they are.
Baker has? All right, whatever. Yeah. We'll save that.
Well, we're kind of jumping around here, but what I'm trying to say is Sam Darnold has showed you what he is. He may look good weeks here and there. He's just not a franchise quarterback.
Okay. I hope he is for my sake, and just turn it around. You're going to be Tom Brady eventually, Sam. Don't worry.
Your own plus 27, 28.
Don't matter.
Kind of matters.
We're going to find out. You got Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to now.
That helps.
Yep.
Jordan Addison doesn't hurt either.
And then once Hawkinson comes back,
you
got a nice little weapon.
You got weapons.
All right. Next game, we got the Chargers and the Panthers. Oh, well, I'll let you go because you're the big Panthers guy over here.
Look, I may have said something last week that doesn't align with my values this week. Did I may have possibly say that the Panthers could fight and possibly make a wild card?
Yes, you did.
There may be video evidence of that.
There is.
Somewhere on our channel that you should definitely check out.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I am guilty. I jumped on the train very fast. I thought Bryce Young could change things around. I thought Dave Canales could be a nice kind of refreshing thing for Bryce Young. They brought in some weapons. I was a big believer in Xavier Legette. They suck. They are not good. They are in shambles right now. Therefore, I am taking the Chargers.
That all you're going to say about the Panthers?
It hurts to
Are they going to win a game this year?
I mean, statistically speaking, yes. Just because it's so hard to go 0-16, 0-17, whatever. But if you told me to look on their schedule, say who will they beat, I cannot give you an answer.
Exactly.
Because they are bad. I misspoke last week. I will admit that. They are awful.
All right, so let's just play with the scenario for a second. They go win 2 games. They're going to get the first pick.
If they look like for the 3rd straight year, they will have possession, even though they didn't really use it last year.
So then going back to what I was saying earlier about Shador, if you're Dion, do you think Dion lets him play in Charlotte? Are the Panthers on the list of teams you think he lets him play at?
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to play along with your game, but you know how the offseason gets. There's a bunch of twists, turns, all this.
All right, hold on. Better example. Will Canales get fired if they win 2 games this year? Or do you think
looking at David Tepper's record, yes. You have to look at what he's done in the past and say, yes, Canales will be fired after 2 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely could see that happening. I'm also taking the Chargers in this game. I think the Chargers might rush for 400 yards in this game.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Gus and J.K. might get 200 yards apiece. Like,
yeah.
They lose Derek Brown. Derek Brown's out for the year. Like, no one's stopping that run game.
We didn't talk about him in the rookie thing, but me being the little O-line nerd I am, Joe Alt looks so impressive.
Might have the best nickname ever. Have you seen what they're going to call him?
No.
Joe Alt Delete.
That's good. That's good. He looked so impressive. Going against Max Crosby too. Like that's an elite pass
Shut him
rusher right
down.
there. Absolutely. And I saw on the All 22 clip, pictures and like videos of all 5 O-linemen together. He is 6'8" and he has the lowest leverage of all of them. He is so impressive to watch. He's so fun to watch. He's gonna be a stud. He's such a good
Chargers got a bookend. They have bookends for the next 10 years with Rashawn and Alt.
Joe Alt.
Alt Delete. That's so cool.
He will eventually be the highest paid O-lineman.
And also history. Lad's looking like a wide receiver 1. Scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean when you have no one else.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying though. Like,
no, he looks good. Yeah,
he showed that. He could be your number 1 guy
for sure. Yeah.
Moving on from that game, we got the Seahawks and the Patriots. Who you got in that one?
I'm going with the Patriots, man. They kind of shocked everyone with beating the Bengals, including us, because we both had the Bengals. I'm gonna go with Patriots, man. I think Gerard Mayo really has those guys playing with their hair on fire. And not to necessarily say the Seahawks going to be bad. I think they'll be decent.
I thought they looked pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Gerard Mayo really has those guys playing differently. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
So my question for this game is, and this is what my bold prediction for this week, I don't think there will be 20 points scored in that game total.
That's interesting.
I think that game finishes like
10-7.
10-7, I could see that game going. Both defenses, very good. Patriots shut down a sick Jamar Chase and no T. Higgins. But you still got Joe Burrow out there. You shut him down. You made Joe Burrow look like an average quarterback, which we'll get to later about Joe Burrow. But I think the Patriots, and I said this last week, the Patriots are going to be the Jets from last year.
You did say that, yeah.
And I don't know. I like the Patriots, but with all that being said, I'm taking the Seahawks. I still think that Seahawks have enough firepower on offense with Lockett, JSN, and DK to just score more points than them. And with that, I'm taking the Seahawks. You got anything else to say about that game?
No, I think this is a pretty close matchup. It was really hard for me to choose. I see this as kind of like a 50-50 game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks win, but I just think Gerard Mayo has them playing inspiring football right now.
For sure. Next, we got the Saints and the Cowboys. Who you got?
I said it last week. I hate saying Dallas is going to win games, but I think they beat the Saints here. Did the Saints win by a lot last week? Yeah, but
I was against the Panthers.
Yeah,
we don't know because it was 1 week.
Yeah,
the Saints may have turned it around.
Maybe.
I would be very surprised if they did.
Yeah,
but with all that being said, again, I'm taking the Cowboys as well. The Saints come back down to earth this week, I think.
I agree.
Especially playing against a really, really good defense, which if you watch that Cowboys and Browns game, the Cowboys defense really...
Mike Zimmer
with a really good defense is so fun.
I mean, not fun for me, but I mean, he had them looking really good last week.
And I mean, Dallas's defense is good enough to win them every game.
Yeah. And it doesn't hurt to have Micah.
To me, no, it does not hurt to have Micah. Yeah. But to me, the offense still has question marks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Cooks scored a touchdown. And again, I was going on last week saying, what are they going to do on offense? They always establish the run. Zeke gets a touchdown. But I don't know. I just think that offense is still a very big question mark for me. And that defense is going to carry them to winning a lot of games. Am I still under the assumption that they're going to finish in 4th? Yes. I'm sticking with it for right now. We'll see after this week. If they can beat the Saints pretty good, like beat them by, let's say, 20 points or so, maybe I might change it, but let's see after this week. I just think that they played a really bad Browns team.
Yeah.
All right. Next, moving on to your team here.
Giants, next question.
What?
Giants, next question.
Hold on a second. This is the Commanders and Giants game. Who are you taking?
Giants.
Why? I need to hear some in-depth analysis of why you're doing this. All right,
I'll try my best.
Because to me, it sounds like you're a fake fan.
I said earlier, I am a realistic fan. I pride myself on being a very realistic fan.
Yeah, but you just said that the Giants are one of the worst teams in the league. And
if
not the worst team in the league.
I didn't say the worst.
Well, I'm saying they could potentially be the worst team in the league this year.
Look, all right, I will try my best to not go on the 3-hour rant right here.
I'll give you 3 minutes.
Good, please do. That defense on Washington is the worst. The worst defense in the league, and it's not even close. There's not a single defense you could point out that's worse than that team. Emmanuel Forbes should be in prison for fraud. Imprison Emmanuel Forbes. Why is he on the field? Why on earth is him and St. Juice on the field? It makes 0 sense. You could go get a homeless guy behind Target to go and do better than those two. And why on earth would any Washington fan, I've seen Washington fans think we have a legitimate shot this week. Maybe we do. I was about to cuss right there. I doubt it, dude. Look at Daniel Jones' record against Washington. If it wasn't for Washington, Daniel Jones would be shining shoes at a mall. Washington's the only reason he's a quarterback in the NFL. Daniel Jones sucks. You know what sucks worse? The Commanders' defense. They're awful. It's so bad, and it sucks for Jaden because Jaden looks good. He looks promising. Terry doesn't deserve this either.
How do you get him he had 1 reception, right?
He had 0 targets going into halftime. He ended the game with 3 catches. I forgot how many yards. I want to say 40-something. I could be wrong about that.
I don't think he did because he was on my fantasy team at like 1 point.
He had 3 catches. He had 3 receptions.
Okay, well.
The yardage I'm going to be off on, but he had 3 receptions.
Okay.
It's bad. It's so bad. Dan Quinn and Joey Jr. Is this
Dan Quinn's first bad defense ever?
Those two have absolutely befuddled me. They fooled me hard. They had me thinking this defense was going to fly around, make all these plays. Was it going to look perfect? No. But it was going to look better than last year. You could argue it's worse. It's bad. It was so bad last week. We made Baker Mayfield look like Baker Lamar. Like, it was just bad. It was so bad, dude. It was so hard to watch.
I will give you you said Mike Evans was going to kill you guys.
I did say we weren't going to stop Mike Evans.
How did Sanders play?
He struggled, but I will give him kind of a leash on that.
Was Godwin the one that was killing him?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say he killed him. He just didn't. He didn't look that good. But I'm willing to give him a leash because it's your first NFL game against Chris Godwin's no slouch.
He's one of the best.
That's what I'm saying. So I'll give Sanders still kind of a leash there. You know, it's your first game.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this. Corner is one of, if not the hardest position to translate from college to the NFL.
Yeah, you're playing way better.
Yeah, so for your first game to be against a guy like Chris Godwin, I'm not exactly gonna
throw him out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have patience with Sanders still.
Yeah.
The other 2 buffoons on the sideline, freaking Forbes and St. Juice. What are we doing? Why are they on the field? Why do they have passes to the facility?
I'm not even their defense is god awful.
It's so bad.
It's bad, but at the same time, what are you doing on the offense? You give Jaden no one to throw the ball to.
Olamide
Zaccheaus is getting 9 targets.
And I want to say something else. Shame on Washington fans he didn't fool me because I've called it from the beginning. I've said it all along. For you idiots out there for thinking Dyami Brown was going to do anything, you are idiots. You guys are so dumb. What on earth would Dyami Brown do anything? Why has he shown you the first 3 years? You know the most receptions he's gotten in a year? Yeah, I'll let you take a wild guess.
15.
12. Why would that change now?
I mean, you would hope it would after.
Why? What's different?
Because he has to get the ball.
Why? Why does he have to? He doesn't get open. He doesn't get open. He doesn't know how to get open. Why would he get the ball now? You think he just magically found out how to get open? The NFL doesn't work like that. He sucks. The team sucks. Why wouldn't the Giants beat us? Here, you said you were going to give me 3 minutes. I told you I could rant on. Giants are winning.
Huh? This is good. This has been 3 minutes.
No,
good.
It has not.
Yes, it has. No. 7:15 is when I let you do it. It's now for you. It's this is funny.
Giants are winning.
This is funny because my computer's still set on Central Time, so I said 7:15. And his says 8:15, so he just thinks he went on an hour rant.
Yeah, no. When you said 7:15, I looked. I was like, "No way." Yeah, no. We need to move. Say your pick. We need to move on because I could talk for an entire day.
Crazy thing is, just with all that being said, I'm taking the Commanders.
Why? It doesn't make sense.
Because I think Daniel Jones loses them that game.
And I called it. I categorized Daniel Jones with Virginia Tech. And other NFC East teams, I love to slander Daniel Jones. From the beginning, I never thought he should have been the 6th overall pick. Never thought he should have gotten that contract extension. When I get the chance to slander Daniel Jones, I take that opportunity. However, when you look at his record against Washington, like I said, Washington is the reason he even has a job in the NFL. He would be making snow cones right now at Central Park if it wasn't for Washington. What is different now? Do they suck? Yes, but they are going to beat Washington. That's a guarantee.
Okay, well, is that your guaranteed lock this week?
Yeah, why not? My commies lose to the Giants because why wouldn't we? We do every year.
All right, well, let's move on before you blow a blood vessel right now.
Please.
We're moving on to the Bucks and Lions. This should be a shootout. Bucks-Lions?
Yeah.
This game should be a shootout. I mean, I think you were completely wrong about Baker Mayfield. And again, they played the Commanders. I don't want to bring back up the Commanders because it was the Commanders.
I said it earlier. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are in the same category. You know what they are. They're going to show you what they are. And I'm not going to deny it. Baker looked good last week. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm not going to say he's going to necessarily suck this week, but he will come closer to looking than what he actually is against a Lions defense.
I could see that happening. And with that being said, I'm taking the Lions.
I'm taking the Lions as well. Yeah.
But, I mean, it just seems like they made the right call with Baker. Like, they give him a contract. He comes out week 1, wins a game.
I'm not even necessarily disagreeing that they should give him a contract, because what else would you have done? You have the 19th overall pick and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, why...
Sorry about that. I didn't mean.
No, I'm just saying, like...
I just feel like it's hitting my shirt, so I'm just going to hold it.
Yeah, no, all good. I'm just saying, like, I don't disagree with them extending him because they really didn't have any other option. So I kind of do agree that they should have extended him. I'm just saying... He's not necessarily the franchise guy that everyone is putting him out to be.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they made the right call. And then, I mean, J-Mo looked like he might be finally heading in the right direction.
It was a little scary. It looked like he got hurt pretty bad there for a second. Ended up coming back in, but no, he's looking like Bama J-Mo.
If J-Mo can look like that, the Lions are a big problem for everybody in the NFL.
He could put a bid in for Offensive Player of the Year if he keeps this up.
And I don't even think you have to go to that extent, but maybe comeback player of the year.
Yeah, or that. That's a good one, yeah.
For sure. So we're both taking the Lions in that game, although I do think that game should be a shootout. That's going to be a fun game.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then next game, we got the Colts and the Packers. Packers, it's kind of scary for them right now.
Yeah, most likely going to be without Jordan Love. If Jordan Love does play, which I doubt he will, he's not. Yeah, he's not, so I got to take the Colts here. Anthony Richardson did not look bad.
I wouldn't say he looked bad, but he also didn't look good.
He showed flashes.
Again, like I said last week, I put Anthony Richardson in, and I know I'm going to get hate for this. I put Anthony Richardson in the same category as Justin Fields. Justin Fields will show you, cool, yeah, no, that guy's got all the traits. And Anthony Richardson does the same things. And then he does something stupid.
I will say this about Anthony Richardson, though. Not to say this is his rookie year, but it's like rookie year part 2. This is his 5th or 6th career game.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like Colts fans should still be a little patient with him just because that was only his 5th or 6th career game right there.
I get it. And, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the Packers play with Malik Willis. Like, I was never a huge Malik Willis fan.
No, and to be fair, that entire draft class, we weren't
No.
fans of really anyone.
That class, there. I mean, what? There wasn't a quarterback taken until the second round?
Kenny Pickett was picked like 20th
right.
overall,
Yep,
which
right.
for the first quarterback to go at number 20 should tell you all you need to know right there.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, Anthony Richardson, you stay in a close game with the Texans. I'll give you that. That's cool. You make some throws. But the Colts could have won that game.
Yeah.
If Richardson hits a couple more of those throws. A.D. Mitchell cooked some Texans receivers, or Texans corners, but he just didn't hit them. He didn't hit him on any of the throws.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know. I need to see more from Richardson to put him in the category that everybody already has him in, which I think people are jumping the gun on.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. But with that, I'm taking the Colts, too, in this game. I just think the Packers without Jordan Love are, and especially with it being Malik Willis, it's going to be scary.
Very suspect, yeah.
Next game, we got the Rams and the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are on the rise.
Mm-hmm. I do, too, yeah.
The Rams are dealing with a couple injuries.
Yeah.
Puka being out. I mean, and where was Corum? Corum didn't play at all for them last week. They didn't necessarily look like they needed him, but you bring in this guy who's scoring 22 touchdowns a year at Michigan.
Yeah.
You kind of probably want that guy splitting reps with Kyron Williams.
For sure. Yeah, he didn't really appear to show up, but that's not stopping me from picking the Rams. I still think they get the job done.
I'm also picking the Rams, too. I mean, again, I think the Cardinals, and again, I watched that whole game. That's probably the only game I watched the entire game of, other than maybe the Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night games, just because those are the only games on.
Yeah.
But for the 1 o'clock slate, I watched that entire game. And the Cardinals, they're going to be a good team. Mm-hmm. Marvin, that was kind of scary that he didn't get any targets.
Did you see he was wide open on that?
Yeah, but did you
play?
Also see what was happening at the quarterback angle?
No, I did not.
He was getting pressured.
Oh.
And Kyler is 5'3".
Yeah.
And couldn't see him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to blame Kyler for that throw. Was he wide open? Yes. Should he know that guy might be wide open on that play? Yes.
Yeah.
But he's also realistically, 5'10"? Maybe. No, he's not. I've seen him in person. He's 5'8". Kyler Murray's 5'8".
No,
he is. I've seen him in person.
It's definitely I think he's.
I went to a player signing one time, and I saw him in person. He's 5'8".
You're also just like an ogre. So everyone looks small to you.
Thanks.
No, he's a legitimate 5.
No, he's not.
10, 5. Not to say that's too much of a difference, but there's no way he's 5.
He's 5'8".
No,
he's 5'10" with cleats on. And I just have to say this because, and I know I'm probably going to ruin this for everybody, but whenever I watch Kyler Murray play football and he is scrambling out of the pocket and running down the field, he looks like a kid that stole his mom's phone and is running away from his mother. He runs like he has his mom's phone and is running away from her. It is the funniest thing ever, and if you ever see Kyler Murray scrambling again, please watch it and tell me that's not exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But regardless, I will also be taking the Rams in that game. You took the Rams too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on, we got the Steelers and the Broncos. Who you got in that one?
I'm going to go with the Steelers. They surprised me a little by beating the Falcons. Yeah, I don't know. I just, again, like I said last week, I don't really believe in Bo Nix all too much.
Yeah.
I think just overall the Steelers are better staffed, better equipped, have a better roster, so I'm going to go with the Steelers.
I'm also taking the Steelers in this game. Justin Fields, still Justin Fieldsing.
Yeah.
He's still doing the same thing he always does, but I don't know. I mean, their defense, TJ Watt might be the best player in the entire league. He
looked really good.
He shut the Falcons down single-handedly.
Yeah.
He's so good at football.
Yeah.
If giving a MVP to a defensive player was a normal thing, TJ Watt would win it every year.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that.
He's such a game changer.
Alex Highsmith looked really good too.
Yeah, I know.
Not enough people talk about him.
TJ Watt.
I wouldn't say it's because of TJ Watt, but TJ Watt has a role in that for sure.
If you just had Alex Highsmith and say you put I don't know, who's an okay pass rusher, Montez Sweat, instead of TJ Watt on that other side, you're getting 50% of the time. We got to focus on Alex Highsmith 50% of the time.
I see where you're coming from with that.
With TJ Watt on the field, 100% of the time you're focused on TJ Watt.
I can see where you're coming from with that.
So TJ Watt is should get an MVP by the time he retires. He's such a good football player. He's so good.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. But I mean, Bo Nix did about what I expected him to look like. He wasn't great. Threw a pick, made some throws. Like, that's exactly what I thought he'd be. Wasn't too impressed with him. I mean, again, he played a really good defense with the Seahawks, but I don't know. I was never a huge Bo Nix fan.
Me neither. Yeah. So,
I mean, we'll see. I think the Steelers defense holds the Broncos. Again, I think that's a really low scoring game. Maybe Justin Fields gets a couple rushing touchdowns in that game because it's looking more and more like it's going to be Justin Fields again this week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they already said Fields will be starting. So, yeah, for sure.
And then, I mean, piggybacking off of that, if you're the Steelers, this is a scenario that I have. If you're the Steelers and Justin Fields wins you this game, do you even put does it even matter if Russ is healthy anymore? Do you still play Justin Fields? You go 2-0 in 2 games with Justin Fields.
But it's not like Fields has looked like he's the guy though. Like it's almost like you're winning despite of him.
Sure, but you're winning the games.
I'd still say you give Russ a shot. Like I don't think it would hurt to give him a shot. And it's like, hey, like by halftime this guy isn't working out, then then sure put Justin Fields back in.
Yeah, I mean. Sure. I just think it'd be hard to put Russ back on the field after going 2-0 with Justin.
I think it will happen.
I think
there's no reason not to.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm taking the Steelers. You're taking the Steelers, right? Next game should be an interesting one. We got the Bengals and the Chiefs. Hopefully, it's an interesting one. Who you got in that one?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. They're the best team in the league. The Bengals. You know what? Maybe the Patriots are good, but we can't really say for sure for now. So for the Bengals to lose to the Patriots the way they did, like it will be hard for me to choose them over the Chiefs.
How important do you think T. Higgins is to that team now, without showing what they are without him on the field this past week?
Yeah,
having T. Higgins on the field, and everyone else wants to talk about Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
having a guy like T. Higgins next to a guy like Jamar Chase,
just
amplifies Jamar Chase because now you have to worry about T. Higgins.
Absolutely,
when T. Higgins is off the field and it's just Jamar Chase, you focus all your attention on him.
Yeah,
and it just
makes Joe Burrow look like an average quarterback.
That's the other thing I want to talk about. Is Joe Burrow a top 5 quarterback anymore?
I would say yes, because again, it was week 1. I don't want to judge too much based off of week 1. So I'm going to say yes, he's still a top 5 quarterback. But if he keeps playing like he did week 1, he would even be top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have him in the top 5 anymore.
Who would you put
So my top 5 would be Pat, Josh, Lamar. Maybe throw Herbert up there.
I would put Herbert.
I'd put Herbert over Burrow right now. And then...
Would you put Jordan Love? CJ Stroud?
I think I'd put Stroud over Love. But, I don't know. I mean...
Again, I don't want to base it all off of week 1. But if Burrow continues to play like he did week 1, and maybe T. Higgins is that much of a difference maker to where Burrow can go back to looking like a top 5 quarterback.
I think I might put Stroud over Burrow right now.
I don't know. It's really hard to disagree with that, especially after last week.
Yeah, I don't know. Burrow needs to turn it around quick. He, again, didn't have all the weapons that he could have had in that game, but so what? You put him in Buffalo right now? I don't even think he's a top 10 quarterback. The Bills' weapons with Joe Burrow and not having Josh Allen extend every play, Joe Burrow ain't doing that.
Not the way Josh Allen does it, no.
And so that's what I'm saying. I don't think Joe Burrow is as good as everybody made him out to be. Maybe it's the weapons that are helping him.
I mean, we'll see. We'll definitely see.
And again, you can't beat the Patriots. And I'm not saying the Patriots maybe
that's also why I don't want to judge it too soon, because maybe the Patriots are that good
defensively.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, defensively.
So, but I don't want to judge it that soon.
You can't score more than 16 points against the Patriots.
Maybe it's like what you said. Maybe they are the Jets of last year. We don't know. We won't find out till after a few games.
And like you touched on it earlier, Worthy really looks like a weapon in that offense. And I'm not even saying that that's something that I didn't think was going to happen. I did think that was going to happen. If Worthy was going to go anywhere and have success early, it would have been the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid is the perfect coach to have him in because he can put him in crazy plays like that, toss you through to him, and just gets him open.
Yeah.
Gets him the ball where he doesn't have to make any crazy play to get the ball. And they gave him the ball and he scores. So I'm taking the Chiefs in that one. Chiefs,
for sure.
Chiefs. Next, we got the Sunday night game, which is the Bears and Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would have been a better Sunday night game if this would have been the Sunday night game week 1.
Yeah.
But after last week, I don't know how hyped up I am about this game.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. I don't know. I really wish Caleb would have played better because, like you said,
he definitely looked like he was
the
struggling.
Juice of the game.
He struggled to find his footing.
Yeah. And, maybe that changes this week. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm going to have to take the Texans with this one.
I'm taking the Texans, too. I mean, especially with Rome already getting hurt. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's going to stunt his development. It's going to stunt the connection between Caleb and Rome. And then you got fat Keenan Allen out there who's gained 30 pounds in the offseason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Their defense looked really good, but against the Texans, whose offense is just so high-powered, I just see the Texans winning that game as well. I think pretty easily, too.
I don't know about easily, but I think once it hits, late fourth quarter, they really do.
Well, the reason for me that I think they will is because the Bears played the Texans last week. Or the Bears played the Titans last week. And Pollard was gashing them for some runs. Joe Mixon looks like a game changer in that offense.
He looks really good, dude.
Having a good run game with that really good passing game, that team is...
For sure.
It's a scary team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah.
And I hope Caleb looks good. I want him to. I hope he has success, but I don't know. It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm taking the Texans. And then closing it out with the Monday night game, we got the Eagles and the Falcons.
I think this is another one of those games like the one we just brought up where, if the quarterback plays differently the week prior, it's a lot more of an exciting game. Kirk did not look all that good last week. So I think the Eagles win it pretty comfortably, honestly.
I think so too. And again, it's Penix time. Penix is going to start by week 5 for them. Kirk Cousins looks unhealthy. He can't plant when he's throwing the ball, his back foot is his plant foot.
Mm-hmm.
He lifts it when he throws the ball because he's scared to plant it because he's not fully healthy yet.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing if you're a Falcons fan.
No, for sure.
And if you're in the Falcons front office. And I mean, everybody hated the Penix pick at the time. That might have been one of the smartest picks.
I mean, we'll see. If it's going to happen, like you said, where he starts week 5, the Falcons don't have much time. Because that's going to happen pretty soon.
I know, but
sooner than what we think.
I'm that high on Penix.
I liked Penix. I would pump the brakes on put Penix in just for now because we've said all episode. It's week 1.
Yeah.
We don't know what these teams truly look like. We just have an idea. But it's just really hard for me to see the Falcons overcoming the Eagles this week.
No, I definitely got the Eagles too. The only thing I'd say about the Eagles is Kelsey was definitely missed. There was a couple botched snaps.
The tush push isn't as effective as it was with Kelsey.
That and just the snaps were botched. A couple snaps got botched in that game.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, Kelsey is one of the greatest centers ever to play the game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard to replicate that. But I don't know. I mean, I think the Eagles' defense still going to be a really good defense. Zach Bond coming in out of nowhere.
Yeah.
15 tackles and 2 sacks.
Yeah, he looked really good.
I mean, if you can turn a player like that into a guy that puts up those types of numbers every week, you're going to be all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's pretty much all we got this week. Anything you want to say closing out the show? You got anything to say about the Commanders before we leave?
I would like to apologize for my rant.
No, that's perfect.
I try my best not to rant. I'm just passionate about my team, just passionate about football. So sometimes I let the craziness come in, but I'm excited overall for not just the NFL games but the college games as well.
Yeah.
So overall excited for this weekend. Let's go start with a great game tomorrow night.
Yep. I'm really hoping that Josh puts a whooping on his kids tomorrow. Yep. And we start the week right, because if the Bills lose tomorrow, my whole weekend's ruined.
If the Bills lose tomorrow, I mean, regardless, you should tune into next week's show, but especially if the Bills lose, because that will be really fun to see.
I'm not going to go out like he did, because, I mean, at least I hope the Bills don't lose.
Okay, look, but all right, but like the difference is, at least if you guys lose, you're losing. I don't care what you say, you're gonna lose. No, I'm saying if you lose, if you lose, you would lose to a good Dolphins team that has, record of showing they have solid players and all that stuff, and like you're expected to, even if you lose, you're still expected to make the playoffs. Yeah. So it's not like all panic. Whereas my situation, spent my entire life in misery. Finally, things change just for it to look the same. That's where my frustration's coming from.
No, I mean, it used to be like that for me, and then we brought number 17 in, and
everything changed.
That's what you're hoping for Jaden, though.
Yeah, we'll see. He looked, like I said, he looked promising. So it's just week one. We'll see.
Josh lost his first game 42-0 against the Ravens.
Yeah,
there's hope.
Yeah,
there's hope.
Absolutely, if Jaden symbolizes anything, it is hope. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in this week.
Yes.
Like and subscribe,
please,
and hope to see you next week.
Yeah, comment if you want to see us do anything, talk about anything specifically. Let us know for sure.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Sorry about the rant.